Welcome to the Social Media Marketing Art Workshop for 2025 for Marin Open Studios. I am Caron Shahrestani, the Social Media Manager and Email Marketing Lead for this organization. Tonight, we're talking about social media marketing your art in 2025. The social media landscape is constantly changing. It's kind of a moving target. So today, we're just kind of doing a general overview of some best practices to put into place between now and open studios, but also just kind of things to cover in general. Just keep in mind that what we cover today is a general overview. And I know in the past we have done workshops that are like specific to Instagram, specific to Facebook. Today it's just, kind of making sure that you are putting your mind into the marketing between now and the first 2 weekends of May. We're going to cover how to tag Marin Open Studios on social media because when you do tag us, we can then share your post and your content to our feed. Sharing your profile, meaning that making sure that you know how to access the link for your Marin Open Studios profile so that you can include that in your social media bios and different areas for people to be able to access your profile on the Marin Open Studios website. We're going to dabble a little bit in making Canva content. Again, in the past, we have done workshops that are dedicated just to Canva because it is a big platform, but we'll just kind of look at a few things on there today. We're going to talk about Instagram Reels and some of the best practices for that. We're going to talk about Facebook events because in addition to our marketing and the, email marketing that we talked about in the last workshop, another way to kind of strum up buzz for Open Studios is to create a dedicated event page on Facebook for your Open Studios event with your address and images of your art, for instance. And then we'll talk a little bit about calendaring content. We touched on that in the email marketing session as well, but figuring out how to pace yourself with putting any kind of promotional posts out between now and May. And then we'll have the Q&A session. So in terms of tagging Marin Open Studios on social, we have profiles on two platforms, Facebook and Instagram. So when you tag us specifically on Instagram in either a post, a reel, or a story, then we as an account, as Marin Open Studios account, can share your reel, your post, your story to our stories. And that will help you get more exposure for your art and for your group exhibit if you're in one, or anything promoting your specific address for Open Studios. So here's an example of a Marin Open Studios artist, Georgette Osserman. She is active on Instagram, and basically what you want to make sure that you do in the best practices of this platform is that you make sure that you tag Marin Open Studios in the post. That can mean that you put an @ and just the words Marin Open Studios, no spaces, into the caption of your post, but then it's also helpful to tag the post itself in terms of us or me getting a notification that you've tagged us in a post that you've done or a reel that you've done. So when you're doing this is for an Instagram reel, for instance, but it's the same for a post. Right below the caption area where you would type out your little caption or description of the image that you're posting or the video you're posting, you'll see a section that says tag people. Depending on your type of account, you might see an option that also says tag products, but make sure that you click the tag people option. And just to be clear, what you're tagging is the @ symbol and Marin Open Studios. So that's what you would type out if you were to put it in your caption. But when you press the tag people function for the whole post or for the whole video, that's a different status in that it can also show up in our tagged section of the Marin Open Studios profile. You'll get this first window and you can tap anywhere on the image or the video or preview of the video here and type in Marin Open Studios. But a more advanced way of using tagging is to click invite collaborators. And that will actually invite us to approve your invite. And that would mean that your video and or photo would appear on your Instagram profile. But then once we approve, that means your video or photo will then show up in the Marin Open Studios Instagram profile and feed as well. So this is a newer functionality of the Instagram platform. And it's something that allows you to have more exposure in terms of having our entire following and audience see your work, see your post, see your video. So you would click this invite collaborators button. I say click, but it's your phone, so tap. You would tap the invite collaborators button. You would type out Marin Open Studios and make sure that our little logo comes up. And then once you have typed it out, then you'll see here collaborators. If they accept, your post will be shared with their followers and they will be shown as authors of the post. So then at the top of your video or photo, it'll say your name and Marin Open Studios as the people tagged in the post. For stories, Instagram stories, similarly, you can tag us, and that makes it easy for us to share your stories to our stories. So when you're in the stories section of Instagram, let's say you want to post a visual or a video, at the top you would hit this little A, the capital A, lowercase a button at the top of your phone, and then you would type at Marin Open Studios. And again, you want to make sure that you see our logo come up here. You click done, and then you'll see a little text functionality that says at Marin Open Studios, and you can actually put your finger on it and move it around to different parts of the screen so it's not covering a specific part of your art. You can also pinch with your pointer finger and your thumb and make it bigger or smaller. You can change the color of it. There are a lot of different things you could do with text, but once you then post to your stories, this button in the bottom left, then once that's live, we're in Open Studios, get a notification that you've tagged us in a story, and then we can share that to our stories. So stories are different than feed. They technically disappear within 24 hours. So to any artists who are on the workshop tonight where you're like, I tagged Marin Open Studios in my story and they never shared it, we're not necessarily checking tags every single day. So when we say to do this, go ahead and do it every time you post about your art, every time you post something from your studio, every time you post an update about Open Studios or about your artistic process, go ahead and just add that text, add the at Marin Open Studios to it before you publish the story. And then we're more likely to see it and be able to post it before it disappears in the 24-hour window. In terms of sharing your profile, so if you were to go to marinopenstudios.org and you can log in and go to your profile, or you can just search for yourself. So I'm going to search for myself, and there I am. Once you click there, you'll see up here at the top, it says marinopenstudios.org/members /, and then that's your unique suffix, your unique URL. So you would just copy this, and then you're able to paste that into the bio on your Instagram, into the bio of your Facebook profile. You can also make a button for it in your email marketing. We were talking about buttons in the last workshop, but this way you're helping to drive more traffic to the Marin Open Studios website, but specifically your presence, so people can see your art, they can learn about your Open Studios event, and it's a great way, for you to help support us in terms of getting more people to visit the website leading up to Open Studios in May. Making Canva content, I don't know if you can tell, but this presentation is on Canva. So of course, Canva can be used for slide decks or different presentations. If you're doing an art workshop or any sort of tutorial, you can use Canva for it. But Canva can also be used to make video content. It can be used to make visuals. It can be used to make business cards, posters, flyers. Really, there are a lot of design and video capabilities with this platform. So if we were to just open up Canva, one of the best things to do is to think of what it is that you want to create and then pull up a template for it. So if we say, I want to create an Instagram reel, which would mean a vertical video or photo slideshow, for instance, and you just press enter, you'll see that there's all sorts of templates here. And if you bring your mouse over it, you'll see different capabilities that either move around or have animations to them. They might be text animations, they might be photo animations. This is kind of a fun one. So you can see how this has an animation already built into the template. and it has movement of text already built into the template. So imagine if you're like, this is cool. I'd like to do this for a save the date social media post for Marin Open Studios. So you can hit customize this template. And then you just want to make sure that whatever art or images that you want to include in this visual, because this is actually going to export and save and download as a video because of the animations of the images. So that's a fun thing to think about with Canva. You don't actually have to have video footage to make videos or reels or stories on Canva. It can just be animations of images of your art that can be great for promotion because it's not just a static, beautiful image of your art. It's something that has a little more movement to it. So in uploads here on the left, you'll see that you have an opportunity to upload files from your computer. So when you're using Canva to create social media content, you want to have an idea of where, maybe on a folder on your computer, or a desktop folder, something like that, where you have images of your art. So I have done a lot of different uh, Canva work for artists. I work with a lot of artists. One of them is Anne Marie de Rivera, who's an ICB artist. So this is like a dog painting that I have already uploaded to my profile. So you can see that if I just click on the image, it overlays into the design, and I'm going to delete it. But if you click and drag the image to a specific part of the design, it'll fill it. So I know I'm putting a vertical dog portrait into a horizontal you know, uh, section of this design. So we're only going to get his eyes, for instance. But you can see how easy that is, where you can just click and drag over to that one image and it'll fill it out. Then you double click it and you can drag down. So again, I'm cropping Anne-Marie's beautiful piece here and making it fit into a much smaller space. But I wanted you to have an idea of what's possible. So if we were to choose that one, and then we can choose this one. And if we double click again, so this is a piece where, and we can make this a little bit bigger, we can actually rotate artwork as well. So depending on how it needs to be composed, you can just kind of flip it around and resize it. And then just looking for one more image that we can pop in here. So let's just say Anne Marie is not at ICB. Let's say that she's at Marin Art and Garden, because that's a shot from one of our Marin Open Studios Group X exhibitions at Marin Art and Garden. So you've got our three images, and then we can just change this text. It says mood, and we can say Open Studios. And then if we press play, voila. Of course, there are other details you would want to put in here, right? You'd maybe want to have the location of your studio or the days and hours, for instance. But just as a simple video, you can do a lot with Canva with these existing templates. And then you could potentially have all of that other information, the location, the address of where you're showing, the hours, the dates. Maybe you're not doing both weekends. And you can put all of that in the caption of the Instagram reel that you're posting, for instance. Um, if there are any questions about how I just did this, put them in the chat. You can actually put video into Canva as well. So here is, again, we're going to feature Georgette. So I'm just going to drag this over slowly and it'll fill the whole frame. So right now she's talking about open studios at ICB. She's on the third floor. And she's just talking into the camera. But if you wanted to, for instance, add text effects to this video, you can do that with Canva and then have it be animated as well. Like, so just like we had the animation on this one where it moves in and it says Open Studios. You can also overlay text on a video and have it maybe above her head, but that's covering her art. So maybe over her chest, right? Over her lovely painterly jacket. Um, but there really are just a lot of capabilities with Canva in terms of creating engaging, creative, eye-catching visuals and graphics. As far as Instagram Reels, so the main things you want to think about when it comes to Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels are just video, right? But it's a vertical video similar to a TikTok. Instagram has now increased the length that a reel can be, so you can actually do up to 3 minutes in an Instagram reel. Typically, the shorter Instagram reels perform better, like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. But if you did have a longer video you wanted to put on there, like up to 3 minutes, have at it. Ideally, you want to do a vertical orientation, meaning up and down, because people are watching it on their phone. If you were to upload a horizontal video, like what would be a traditional YouTube video, you're going to have a bunch of black space above and below the video footage, and that makes it even harder to see, like harder for people to get the details of your art or see the scale of your studio. So ideally, you're doing Instagram Reels that are completely vertical. If you're shooting footage for an Instagram Reel, you want to have your phone upright, up and down, not left and right. One thing that'll really help you get more views, more people to see the video that you put out is to use what's called trending music. This is one of the algorithms that Instagram uses where it is using that to help push videos and content towards more non-followers, people who are not already following your account. When you do a reel, it's more likely to be pushed to complete strangers who've never even met you before if you have trending music on it. Hashtags are really important. We actually have one workshop that we did a while back that is just about Instagram hashtags, but we'll do a little overview of that today. These are the searchable terms of Instagram. This is how a lot of people look for certain topics or certain types of art or certain types of artists on that platform. And then the cover image you choose for your Instagram reel is very important because when you're looking at someone's Instagram profile and you're looking through all of their older posts and deciding whether or not to tap it and open it to full screen, a video doesn't automatically play until you open it. So the cover image or the thumbnail of that reel is very important in terms of making it more clickable, in terms of piquing people's interest and getting them to decide to watch the thing or open the thing. For trending music, so this is a screen recording of Instagram. So when you click on the Reels tab, which is this one down here at the bottom, the little white one with the arrow in it, and when you swipe up, it'll show you another reel. And then when you swipe up, and it'll show you another reel. What you want to look for is song names in the lower left corner that have a little upward right pointing arrow. So just to show you what that looks like, if you look, I know there's a lot of text on here, but if you look right here, there's a little teeny tiny upward arrow next to where it says iPop. That's how you know it's trending, is that next to the song name, there's a little upward right pointing arrow. And if you tap that with your finger, it'll take you to what's called an audio page. And then that will also say up here with a little arrow and the word trending. That means that a lot of people are using this song, and Instagram is pushing any video that also uses that song. So when you are going through Reels on Instagram and you're listening for one that you like, and you hear one that you like, and you look at it and it has that little arrow on it, tap the song name, come to your audio page, and then tap the blue Use Audio button, and that'll go right into the process of creating an Instagram reel. So that cool photo, text, moving graphic we made on Canva, you make it, you come to Instagram, you pick a song you like that's trending, you tap that blue Use Audio button, and then you would upload the Canva video that you made, and bam, you're already halfway to making an optimized reel for people to watch. So once you hit the Use Audio button, after you've found a piece of music that you like, you find that it is trending, you visited this audio page, it has the little trending audio. You can also save for later. So if you find a trending song that you like, but you're not ready to make a reel right now, you'll see this little thing. It kind of looks like a flag. in the top right corner. And if you tap that with your finger, then it saves it for you in a little special section of Instagram called saved audio. So you can do research on trending music before you're even ready to post the reel, just to find something where you like the sound of it and you know that Instagram's going to push it. So in terms of hashtags, again, we have done an entire workshop just on this topic, and really any of these topics that we're covering today could have their own workshop. Hashtags are a great way to help you get more exposure in terms of, like I said, these are search terms. So when you go into the search functionality of Instagram, which is this one that looks like a magnifying glass, and you type in any phrase without spaces, like this one isn't Bay space area space painter, it's just Bay Area painter, no spaces. The first result will say top, which will be a mix of accounts and tags. And if you were to tap accounts, it would just show you accounts that have the words Bay Area painter or Bay Area painters in their name. But you want to tap the one that says tags, this third one, and then it'll show you how many posts have been used with that hashtag. For best practices, you want to use at least 5 hashtags on any given Instagram reel or Instagram post, but especially reels. And you can do up to 30 hashtags on an Instagram post or reel, but that tends to dilute your results a little bit. So I'd like to say between like 10 and 20, but if anything, at least 5. You can do them by locality. You can say, Novato, Sausalito, San Rafael. You can do it by your medium, acrylic paint, oil paint, sculpture. You could do it, by the kind of genre of art that you do, abstract art, landscape art, portrait art. And it is something that, having a little bit of variety into the terms will help you get more reach. But just make sure it kind of applies to you and what you do. Like if you're posting an image of florals, right? Like a still life of a bouquet of flowers, and you do hashtag dog painting or hashtag puppy portrait, because it's not a puppy portrait, because it's not a dog painting, it ends up not getting you as much results, even if it's a popular hashtag, because it doesn't actually apply to what the visual is showing people. So try to make it kind of be relevant to where you are, the type of art you make, the materials you use. Bay Area painter is kind of a genre, in terms of the locality, but there are a lot of different ways that you can use hashtag research, and you can see how it does have other suggested posts. So if you do a simple one like oil painter, it'll show oil painter and then it'll say oil painters and then it'll say oil painters of Instagram and then it'll say oil painting and it'll show you a lot of different variations of it, and that can help you do your research. So in terms of Facebook events, again, this is a great way to drive traffic to a specific address or to a group exhibit if you're in one. So when you're on Facebook, it's going to look a little different for everybody, but on mine, you can see I have this little menu here on the left, friends, memories, groups, video, feeds, and if you click see more, birthdays, and then eventually you'll see events. So everybody's Facebook is different in terms of how it appears for them. Your events might show up right away, but you click the events here on the tab. And so this is going to show you events, right? Local events, Bay Area events, San Francisco events. But what you want to do over here on the left is create a new event. And then you can call it, Open Studios with Kate Carlson, if I could spell her name correctly. You can put in the dates or date. You can have at least the starting date. So I believe Open Studios is May 3rd and 4th, 10th and 11th. So you can say May 3rd, starting at 11 a.m. PDT. In person or virtual, you'd say in person, please actually come. She would enter in ICB, ICB art building, artist building. Come on, ICB. Or you could just enter in the actual address, 480 Gate 5 Road. Yeah. So she could just enter the actual address of ICB. Um, who can see it? I would say public. Why not? Why would you make it private? Make it to as many people as possible that as in your friends and family could share it with their neighbors and fellow art lovers, and there won't be any issue with the person not being able to access the events. You'd make it public. Details is where you want to go all in. Like, I've got some beautiful work to show you. I've been doing some amazing new landscapes this year. Come and see my art. I've got some art prints. I've got art cards. I've got, new works to show. Don't be shy with the details. If you're in a group exhibit, you can add co-hosts. So you create the event, but then if you have other artists that you're all in the same building or you're all in the same space, you can add them as co-hosts where they then can invite people to this event on Facebook. You do have to be friends with them, Facebook friends with them in order to add them. A repeat event, so you could make it where weekend one, weekend two. So it could say Open Studios weekend one. And then you can repeat the event for the following weekend with weekend two. There are additional settings, show guest lists. You can hide it if you want. Only hosts can post to it. So maybe you don't want people to do their own promotional stuff on there. Post must be approved by a host. So like anything that shows up, you approve it. So it's one of these two. You can't toggle both. Um, Posts and comments detected as potential spam will be held for your review. I'm sure everybody on this call has had some sort of come on in social media in terms of NFTs. You could go ahead and just click this, and ideally, Facebook will help block people from putting spammy comments on your event, on your public event. Also, and this is really important, add an image to it. So if we go back to Canva and we go to search and you type in Facebook event cover, it'll always provide a blank one that you can go with. But you can absolutely pick any of these ones that don't, I mean, I don't have the paid version of Canva, so you don't pick one with the crown, but you can pick this one and it can have the dates and you can say Open Studios and have some basic info. This looks nice. It kind of looks like the bay. It's not, but it kind of looks like it. Or you can add your own image of artwork behind it, for instance. Or you could just go into the blank template, pull up some pictures of your art and make a little collage of your art, right? So if we don't want it to fill the whole thing, we just drag it in, drag from the edges. Let's just say we can fit two in here. Might be able to fit three. And you can also just do slices of art. You don't have to actually do the full piece. Right? Something like that could be your cover image, right? Where it's not exactly the full compositions. Doesn't need to have text over it, because if you think about it, your event is going to have all the text and all the information below it. You would hit create event. It would allow you to invite anybody who's on your friend list. You would just manually tap this person, this person, this person. It doesn't allow you to just invite all of your friends because some people have like 5,000 friends on Facebook. But this is a great way to promote Open Studios for a specific address, and you can include the link to this event in an email that you send out to people. You can text the link to this event to a friend or a neighbor or someone that you really want to come, and it allows you to track RSVPs, and Facebook will remind people, hey, don't forget this weekend, at some point they will get a notification from Facebook that if they've marked as going or if they've marked as interested, then they will get a reminder a few days before or even the morning of telling them you've got this event today. And so one of the cooler things about Facebook, because this is all free, what we're doing here, creating this event, is that you are able to rely on the platform to help with the promotion of it in terms of reminding people that they said they were interested in this thing. We touched on this a little bit in the email marketing session that we just had. One of my favorite things to do, and so this is what we did on the email marketing session, was that we went to ChatGPT and we asked it to create a content calendar for us. So I know that there are probably some artists either sitting in on this workshop right now or listening to the recording later who are just like, AI, ChatGPT, it's taking opportunities away from artists. It is. Like there are people who auto-generate artwork now using AI, and it's a shame. AI should be doing my dishes and my laundry. It shouldn't be creating art, in my opinion. But what it can do is help you be accountable to a social media schedule that you maybe just don't even have the brain space to create for yourself. So you can say, I have an open studios art event the first 2 weekends of May. Create a social media marketing calendar to help me plan my content to promote the event. Boop-a-doop. You can be more specific and say, start with, my name is Kay Carlson. I am a colorist, Kay?
Very good.
Colorist painter based in Sausalito. And I paint a lot of,
Waterscapes.
yeah, waterscapes, I was going to say, waterscapes in the San Francisco Bay Area. The reason why you introduce yourself to AI is so that it makes more of a custom content calendar for you in terms of the ideas, not like post a save the date and then post a reminder and then post a day of. Instead, it'll take this information into account. Give it a second. It's thinking. So, April pre-promotion and awareness. We're talking this week because it's the first. Exciting news. My Open Studios event is happening the first 2 weekends of May. Stay tuned for behind the scenes glimpses of my latest waterscape. So it's applying that information, gives you a couple hashtags. And then it says if you want to do a second post. So with any of these types of, AI generated calendars, if you're not up to doing more than a post in a given week, just choose one, right? But if you can do two, that'll obviously help in terms of getting the word out and getting a buzz. The second one is share a short video or carousel post showing your workspace and works in progress. The second week, it says feature a painting, highlight one of your waterscapes, sharing the inspiration behind it. Event details post, share the event date, time, and location with an engaging graphic. So engaging graphic would be something maybe you make on Canva. Time-lapse video or reel show part of your painting process. So time-lapse is just your phone recording you painting, but it's taking photos every few seconds or every couple minutes so that it makes kind of a staccato summary of your artistic process. Testimonial or past event photos. So it'd be great if you have some sort of testimonial from someone who's purchased art from you, but it could also just be photos from the last time that you had an Open Studios event. And then last week of April, countdown begins, 10 days left. Behind the scenes, interactive posts. Ask your audience which waterscape they love most. You could do a little collage or show a couple of pieces and just get people to kind of start commenting about your art and which ones they like the most. And then this has got, a nice push for you here in terms of final countdown, personal invitation video. So that would be you looking into the camera and saying, I hope you'll come to my studio for Open Studios. The morning of, today's the day, come and see my latest waterscapes in person, a live tour or Instagram story updates. So you can do a live broadcast from your studio where it's just broadcasting as you're recording. Recap from the first weekend, share events and highlights. So definitely you would with this type of content strategy, you want to make sure you take a couple photos of people looking around your studio during weekend one so that you can post images or videos of that to promote weekend two. Because there are a lot of people who don't make it to weekend one, and it's because of the little posts and reminders in the week in between the weekends that they definitely, oh, right, right, right. I meant to go see Kay's work. Definitely going to be there Mother's Day weekend. Then another invitation post, last chance, right, leading up to weekend two. Behind the scenes content, capture people's reactions. Maybe someone's holding a painting that they bought or holding something or standing next to a painting that they like. And then after the second weekend, you definitely want to do a thank you post expressing gratitude, again, showing some cool little snaps from the 2 weekends. And then follow-up engagement is, hey, did you miss it? Did you miss Open Studios? No worries. Come and schedule a private studio tour with me or contact me for commissions or if you have another event coming up. So this prompt of introducing yourself, telling it that you have an event first 2 weekends of May, and asking it to create a marketing content calendar is something that is very easy to do. ChatGPT is free. And if you give it enough information about you, it'll create these kind of custom suggestions. And again, if you can't do twice a week, every week between now and Open Studios, which is like 8 posts in the next 4 weeks, just try to get at least one post out each of the weeks. And then it is appropriate, it might seem aggressive, but it is appropriate to do kind of a push the day before, the day of, the week in between, the day before, the day of, the day after, because it is a one time a year event. If they miss it in May, there's not going to be another one until May of next year. So don't worry about people feeling like they're seeing too much of you or that you're doing too much posting. This is you trying to stay on people's radar in a very distracted, overwhelmed society. If people love your art and they support you, they want to be reminded. They want to stay in the loop about this opportunity. So that is all I have in terms of the main workshop presentation. We are now at the Q&A session, so I'm going to jump into the chat. I see we have a few things here already. Da, 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 da. I would like to review how best to use Instagram with videos and still pics for interest and draw attention to MOS location and town center. That's from Deborah. So Deborah, what we just covered in terms of using Canva to animate your still images, turning your videos into reels on Instagram, and then the different optimization techniques, right? Trending audio, hashtags, and thinking about what kind of a cover image you want to use for that, for like the static feed. Those are the best ways that you can focus on Instagram for both videos and still clips. And if you know you're going to be at town center and your art isn't installed yet, go drive over to town center and get a couple shots of like the outside of town center where people are going to be parking before they walk into the center. And you can take a nice little photo and say, Open Studios at town center. It doesn't actually have to be an image with the Marin Open Studios sign in the window with your art already installed. It's just telling people like, save the date to come to town center the first two
Can I
weekends of
ask
May.
you a quick one?
Sure.
Karen, oh, okay. So here's the thing. I've been able to use Instagram and then it automatically, because it's Meta, it goes onto my Facebook.
Uh-huh.
So it's going out to the public
Yep.
anyway. I don't have to do that much.
Yep.
Um, but to broaden it, this is the thing where what you're teaching us with Canva and all that sort of stuff. Um, Does this actually, like, this is going to woo people more, correct? This is what you're telling us.
As far as using Reels or using Canva for animations and stuff?
Yeah, because it disappears very quickly on Facebook, even.
Well,
The repetition.
sure. I mean, the difference between just posting a photo of your art, which is what a lot of artists do, just beautiful photo, beautiful photo, beautiful photo, and posting something from Canva that slightly animates the artwork or puts some moving text over it, is that, people decide in the first 3 seconds if they like the art and potentially want to buy it. First 3 seconds. So sometimes having some sort of movement is what keeps them looking at it, or if it's a video, watching it past the 3 second mark versus like the infinite scroll, right? If people follow a lot of artists, that's pretty, that's pretty, that's pretty. They just scroll right past. You're a swipe away. Whereas if you have any sort of movement or animation, it does ideally keep people watching past that 3 second mark, and then that triggers the algorithm to show it to more people. If it is a reel, it will be pushed to non-followers, people who you don't already have a connection with. And that's one of the main advantages of using reels instead of just doing photo posts.
Karen, quick
Okay, great.
question.
Thank you.
Karen,
Yes, yes, Richard.
um, Canva, I've never used it. The free version of it,
Mhm.
are the examples you've been showing from the free version or the paid version?
Correct. The examples I showed are from the free version. I've never done the paid version, and basically when you're on the free version, if you're looking at a bunch of templates and you see one that you like, if it has a little crown in the corner
Hmm.
and you try to use that template, it's like, cool, buy Canva, like pay for Canva, and you can have access to these templates. Because I'm like myself an artist and a creative, I would rather just make something from scratch, like we did with that white screen where I'm like art, art, art. I'd sometimes rather do that than to pay for another subscription for another platform. So there are a lot of templates in the free version. You just sometimes have to do a little hunting. It's kind of like secondhand shopping. You got to have the patience to look through and find one that works for you, but that's also free.
And it seems obviously that you would be able to create it on your computer screen bigger
Yes.
than creating on a phone.
Yes, but there is a Canva app. So you can create on your phone as well. You can create on your computer. This is the coolest thing about Canva. You can create a cool design on Canva on your computer, big screen. It'll auto save in the Canva cloud, and then you can open the Canva app on your phone, go to that project and download it to your phone from the app, even though you were just working on it on your computer. So it saves the whole like email it to yourself or iCloud it to yourself. As soon as you make an edit to something on Canva on a big computer, it's immediate available for you to download to your phone in terms of posting to Instagram from your
Very
phone.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have Richard says, I've been using my general email list, can lead to being cut off by providers if the list is not opt-in. Please elaborate true or false. So, per the last workshop we did, Richard, I highly recommend transitioning into MailChimp
Yeah,
as
I have an opt-in list, but I have a much bigger over time general list.
Yeah, so what you would do is you would add your general list. You would download it as a CSV, upload it to MailChimp or whatever your provider is, and you would send out an email. And if people receive that email and unsubscribe, that'll be tracked. So let's say you sent out 1,000 emails and 500 people unsubscribed, then that platform can block you from sending further emails because they think you're being spammy.
Right.
But if you feel like these 1,000 people really support you, love your art, would love to receive an email from you, then there isn't a lot of risk to putting them into the opt-in format because you'll know that they will not unsubscribe, they will open it, they will engage with it. And that just helps you with the tracking of that information.
Okay.
Um, Adolfo says, is there a way to see your screen? I can only see you. Oh, Adolfo, I'm sorry, I didn't see that until 30 minutes later. I was screen sharing, wasn't I? Everybody, Kino, screen
Are
sharing.
you?
Okay. So Adolfo, we will be posting the recording of this in the
That's okay.
coming.
I figured it out while you were
Oh,
talking.
good. Oh, good. Okay. But we will be posting the recording if anybody on here thought that, this all went by a
That's
little too
good.
fast.
I'll watch it again.
Okay, good. Judith says for Canva, do you start at canva.com? Yes. So Judith, for a Canva design, you would go to canva.com, create an account if you don't have one. And then in the little search bar at the top, you would search Instagram Reel or Facebook event cover or whatever, the graphic or the platform is you want to post to, create that beautiful design or video. And then, like we were just talking about with Richard, you can download it directly to your phone from the Canva app on your phone. Or you can, if you're posting to Facebook, for instance, from your computer, you would just download from canva.com to your computer and then upload it to Facebook from your login on your computer. Then Judith also asked for Facebook event, do you have to use Canva or upload an image from our files? Yeah, Judith, that was just an example that, I like to use Canva for like a fun little event graphic, but if you're creating a Facebook event, it could absolutely just be a beautiful composition, a photograph or a piece of artwork, untouched, unedited, as far as any sort of fancy text or anything like that. Yeah, it could just be a basic image. Laura said, I have an Instagram account, but have never posted to it and have no followers because I've kept the account private. If I post reels and don't have followers, will the post or reel be shown to anyone? Good question, Laura. So first, you definitely want to make your
No.
Instagram public because, like I was saying, one of the main advantages is to have it push to non-followers, people who've never followed you before. If you don't have any followers, then that's a great way to grow your account. Also, Laura, this whole time that you've had an Instagram account and you haven't posted anything, Instagram has been waiting for you to post something. So if you go on there and you do your first post or you do your first reel, it's going to ideally show it to more people than you can imagine because it wants you to do it again. It wants you to engage. It wants you to be active on the platform. So I would also say that there are probably a lot of people, friends, art lovers, family members who are on Instagram and who have searched for you and maybe not been able to find you because you're private. So once you are kind of live and public on Instagram, let people know. Let people know that you're like, hey, I'm on Instagram, or I'm going to be posting on Instagram, and I'm sure you'll be able to grow a following pretty quickly just from the people who are on that platform already and are pretty active on it and have been wanting to connect with you there. I know that there are maybe other people who have questions, or I know there will be people watching this recording after the fact on YouTube. So, if there is anything that I can help with, if there is any part of today's presentation that kind of leaves you scratching your head, or you find yourself, you call yourself tech challenged in any way, and you really want a little hand holding or a little help in, creating your first Canva design or better understanding Instagram or having difficulty tagging MOS, this is an opportunity for you to schedule a completely complimentary 15-minute Zoom call with me. If you just hold up your phone, open your camera, and point it towards the QR code, you'll see a little highlighted link option to come up. And if you tap it, that'll open up my calendar and you can schedule a 15-minute time with me anytime in April. It's open for the next 4 weeks. I have had a number of artists take advantage of this since the email marketing workshop that we had, and they found it to be very helpful in terms of implementing these different things that we've covered. So if you have questions about Instagram, hashtags, trending music, ChatGPT, Canva, any of it, please take advantage of this because we've only got about a month in change before the first weekend. And myself and the Marin Open Studios family, the team, if you will, we really want to make sure that you guys are confident in your marketing leading up to it because we're all doing this together. We're all helping each other to bring more foot traffic, more exposure, more visits to the website, more people picking up the tour guide, more people visiting the STA preview gallery. And so anything that we can do or I can do to help you put some of these recommendations into effect, please let me know because I find that you guys all have very beautiful art. You all have excellent creative things to offer the world. And this is not the time to be shy, to hide, or to get too focused on the canvas or in the clay. We got to take a step back out of the art studio for a second and make sure that we do a little bit of marketing to make sure that whether you're a solo exhibit or a group exhibit, that you're making the most of this unique opportunity. Couple more messages just came in. When is the printed tour guide available and where do we pick it up?
I can answer that.
Yes, Kina's here.
Hi. So that's been my life the last month or so. So, among other parts of it. So the tour guide is getting printed now. The flip book was converted today and will be up on the website in all of our digital marketing as well. We're going to be doing a lot. I purchased extra digital marketing this year that'll feature a link to the tour guide and to our website where, the artist profiles are and such. So the tour guide, the physical copy of the tour guide will be available when you drop your art off at SCA on intake day, Monday, April 21st. So you'll be bringing one piece of art. The communication either went out today or is going out tomorrow.
It's going out tomorrow. Yeah, we'll send an email with the SCA stuff tomorrow.
Great. So tomorrow you'll get all the details about intake day. the tour guides will be available as well as your, branded signage for Marin Open Studios you can take with you. And what was the second question? It was the guides. So the guides will be there. You can pick up your tour guide there, and it's going to be available online shortly as well.
Thank you, Kina.
And we're going to be distributed they go out in Marin Magazine, as you know. So they're going out to, many, tens of thousands of residents in Marin Magazine as an insert. I think you guys have seen this, but maybe some of you are new. So this is last year's May issue of Marin Magazine. And the tour guide was inside like this. And
Do you know when that's going to hit?
Yeah, it hits the 24th, 5th, or 6th of April.
I mean, that's the public drop. They're dropping it?
It goes into mailboxes. And
Yeah.
so you'll get yours. So it'll be in mailboxes it'll arrive in mailboxes around that time. So it'll be mailed out before that. Ours we'll have thousands of them to give to artists and other locations throughout Marin as soon as they're printed, which is April, 18th or so. So we're putting them in Marin Magazine, or they're getting put into Marin Magazine to be sent out to tens of thousands of households in Marin. We have thousands of them to distribute throughout Marin and give to the artists so that they can distribute them. So put them, wherever you go, put a little stack of them, and we'll get them all out all over Marin. We're also doing a poster this year that'll be put up professionally all over Marin by somebody who does that. So those posters are going to get out, and you'll have your artist signage too that you'll pick up at SCA when you drop off your art. And all those details are coming out tomorrow. The other thing coming out this week is the Artist Media Toolkit, which Caron referenced. We were just waiting for the live link for the tour guide to be available before giving you that. Otherwise, it kind of doesn't, it's not quite ready otherwise. So now that that's ready, that can go out to you, the toolkit.
So that'll be coming in the coming days. But tomorrow we'll send out the SCA intake day volunteer opportunity email with some save the dates for the artist party and the benefit for art.
Good job.
And hooray to Connie Kirk, Janet, and Susan for scheduling sessions with me already. I'm going to just real quick exit out of this screen. If anybody wants me to bring it back up, I can. But I failed to mention this last time. If you go to YouTube and you search for Marin Open Studios and you go to our channel, you'll see here that we have a playlist of all of our previous workshops. If we hit here, playlists, it's here, Marin Open Studios workshops. So if we take a look at that, our first one was in the pandemic years. But we've got a lot of stuff covered here, including Instagram hashtags, time lapses. There's a little bit about LinkedIn. And then we also have Canva, content creation sessions. The email marketing one we did before is there. But this is a great resource, even for artists who've been with us for years and years and maybe even attended some of these workshops live. These are all very helpful in showing you how to use some of these platforms. The creating content on Canva session does have actual footage of, us working through different designs and helping you to understand how to format for different platforms, add a bunch of art, animate the art, that kind of thing. So I definitely recommend checking that out. I can also put the link in the chat right now for anybody who's interested. But if you just go to YouTube and you search for Marin Open Studios and you go to our channel and you look at our playlists, you'll see that playlist we're now on episode 28. So we've got a couple dozen tutorials on there from over the years. So if you did want to have a little more of a deep dive into Instagram hashtags or Canva or making videos of your art, those are all on there.
Right.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, last chance.
I just want to say thank you, Caron, for another excellent workshop. And I do recommend the archive to you guys. It's really a lot of good material. Caron is an expert on this stuff, and she really goes in deep in some of these archived YouTube videos. So if you've got a specific question, it's probably answered there. But if not, sign up for 15 minutes and she'll answer it. So thank you, Caron, for your excellent professional advice and workshops. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you,
Kina.
Thank
Karen.
you.
You.
You're
You too.
welcome. And Deborah, I just saw your question about where to add moss into your Instagram posts. We will be sharing this recording in the next couple of days, so you'll be able to watch the presentation on how to tag us in
Okay.
your posts and your stories.
Okay,
Or
perfect.
schedule a 15-minute session. I can show the QR code one more time if everybody wants me to. But I'm happy to make myself available if you just scan that little code on your screen. And if you schedule a time, I'm happy to walk you through that. Hold your hand with it, no problem.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Caron. And thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you,
night.
Caron.
Good
Thank
luck with your
you.
marketing. Good night.
Yes, good.
Really, really helpful. Thank you.
Of
Good.
course. Good luck with your social media marketing. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Bonsoir, à bientôt,
À tout à l'heure.
à tout à l'heure. Yeah.
Merci à tous. Oui.
Gracias. Ciao for now. Adios, muchachos.
Shalom.
Shalom. There you go.
Bye.
Bye.